Okay, welcome back. That was faster than expected. It was a good 10 minutes or so this morning, wasn't it? 10-15 minute break, and then this time straight back into the action. So unfortunately for Matthew Hurst and Mark Glenister, we've actually missed them on the road there. We were caught out there, as were a lot of the spectators trying to get back from helping Adrian Hetherington. Anyway, we'll bring you up to speed with what's going on. This is Perry Gardner and Jack Bowen, car 402. Fiesta R5, hot on the heels of Matthew and Mark in the similar looking car. Let's just have a little look where we're at now. It's completely thrown us. Thought we had a little bit longer than that. So just see where we are at in terms of overall time. So it's looking like Matthew Hurst and Tom Williams are on identical times after 4 stages. That'd be incredible if it is. Matthew leading 9 seconds over Perry Gardner in the Welsh Championship. Here is Tom Williams. Car soaking up the bumps. Wiper blades going for some reason. Now I could hear this car on the rev limiter as it headed away down this straight now. So it goes past where Adrian had gone off. If you listen, you probably won't hear it on the microphone, but absolutely on the limiter as it heads out of earshot. Yeah, fantastic to hear that. Real test of commitment there. I didn't hear Matthew Hurst on the limiter, so maybe he was either slightly slower or the car's geared slightly differently. Not any slower by the looks of things. The timings show identical times for the first 2. Perry Gardner just the 9 seconds behind, then Bob Morgan is quite a bit behind actually. Bob Morgan, he's over a minute off Tom Williams' pace. Here he is in the Skoda Fabia, fantastic looking car, setting it up, throws it sideways. Ade Williams alongside him. Quite impressive to see the dust clearing and all the people stood there in the middle of it all. Can't work out whether people have got tans or just dirt all over them. So, anyway, it's good to see. So next up we're expecting the Brelly Welsh crew of Simon Rogers and James Howe in their Evo 6. Currently lying 3rd overall in the championship and leading Class W13. So things are going fairly well for these guys. It's the ex-Jari-Matti Latvala Evo that Simon has had now. Here they come. It certainly is. It's a serious bump. See the dust coming up through the vents on the bonnet now. It's a hard hit. Sure, that was the sound of rubber as well flapping around under there. That might have been a puncture from that bump. We'll have to see on the times when we get to the end of the stage. But, it certainly wouldn't surprise me. The rocks on the inside of that compression are seriously deep. The rocks aren't deep. The compression is deep. The rocks are seriously sharp on the inside there, and they're big rocks as well, big boulders that have been used to lay the road that have all sort of fallen away from the cars going over them. Next up we look towards Martin Andrews and Steve Greenhill, 2nd in class coming into this event. Attempted to throw the car off on this corner this morning but managed to keep it going. We'll see if they can do a better job this afternoon. Slightly slower approach and a much quicker exit. It's more like it, boys. Expecting Daniel Moss up next, Evo 10. Sam Davis alongside him. They're after a clean run this weekend. They want to make sure this car gets to the end. It's a stunning looking car in the pink livery with the duck on the roof. They'll be wanting to guide this car through the stages nicely and have no hiccups anywhere, so fingers crossed. These guys are still running strong. Feels like quite a breeze blowing across the hillside here, but the dust isn't clearing quite as quickly as I was expecting it to. Is that a 10? It certainly is a 10. Nicely done. It's a good looking car, that. The only Evo 10 out on the stages this weekend. So going well for the crew. 3 more stages to go. As we turn our attentions to Paul Walker and Geraint Thomas in the Impreza. Green Paw sponsored car should be through next. Another crew looking for a clean run here and making sure they get to the end of the event. It's all about championship points. Here we go, car 408. Paul Walker and Geraint Thomas, like we say. Brian Kemp saying, yeah, the wipers are getting rid of the dust. They probably are, to be fair. It will be gathering on that front screen. Jordan Jones says the weather will play a big part in the standings today due to the dust. Yeah, I mean, we're lucky here because it's nice and breezy and it's open, but I imagine getting the trees, it will be a bit of a different story, really. It's I imagine it'll hang quite a bit in the trees. There's not loads of breeze to keep the dust away, so we'll have to see on that one. It's not doing too bad here. So John Kane, Mark Morris in the Evo 3. Now I'm expecting it to be a little bit more tentative this time round, a little bit more pedestrian. This is when it is allowed to be pedestrian. Thank you, boys, that's how it should be done. Keeping it all 4 wheels on the gravel, please, on the road. We don't want any more ditch diving like you were doing on the first run through. Tony will be happy with that. And the guys back at service. Done a cracking job to keep that car going. It was it's a bit of a moment this morning for the crew and a very lucky escape, really, because it's a very deep hole here that they just managed to miss. Peter Bayliss, Paul Godden, car 411. Artificial Lawn.co.uk sponsored car. It's the first event of the year for these guys in the Evo 9. And so far so good. Just the 3 stages left to go. Nice to see Domingos Morieras back, wasting more of his time with us. Thanks for joining us for the 4-wheel drives. Heading into the last few cars now. It's about 7 or 8 cars left to come through. It's the good-looking Golf. Steve Hollis and Tim Curry. doesn't sound like it should be in Class B, in Class W13. It feels, or it sounds almost sort of 1600 like, but must just be the way the car's set up. It looks good anyway on the stage, and it does sound good as well. Nice to see something different. So next up should be another of the Evo 3s, second one of the day. It's not, this is the Fiesta of Richard Keane, Alan Haywood. Carrying their way through. Richard actually owns some forestry just around the corner from here. He was out testing a couple of days ago before this event. If you ever needed to test a rally car up in North Wales, get on to Richard and the guys at MSL. They've done a fantastic little forest up there for testing the cars. Real good stage layout, ideal conditions for testing your cars around this area of the world. Pirelli Welsh crew of Colin Griffiths and Sean Rowlands should be up next. Look up the hillside. It's not the car I was expecting, although it is an Impreza. This is Tom McCune, isn't it? Car 412, yeah, Tom McCune in Tom. Going well. Just I was trying to listen then for the top of the hill. There was no brakes this time around for that Subaru. Going past us there into the distance. Lots of others have been touching the brakes as they were going out of view, but nothing from Tom there. I was just making sure that they got round and were away okay and safe, which they are. Heading down towards the end of the stage on the long final leg. It's a quick end to the stage here. Will Atkins is back. Welcome along, Will, again. So this is more like the car we were expecting to see. This is the STI Group N Impreza of Colin Griffiths and Sean Rowlands. Turning sideways. Keeping the power on nice and smoothly done. Away out of view at the top. Needing a clean run this weekend on these stages with Colin. So far, things are going his way. So it's looking like just the three cars now for us. Colin Minton, Charlie Campbell and Paul Hulston, all left to come through. Bonnie Papper alongside Colin in the Fiesta R5. Bonnie was out last weekend on the Isle of Man as well, competing over there. It's a busy life, isn't it, when you're into motorsport? Whether you're marshalling, driving, safety crews, mechanics, organisers, you don't get any time for yourselves. And this isn't the R5, this is the Evo 3 of Alan Jones and Geraint Mills. Car 414. Nice to see a few more Subarus marked round. Yeah, I totally agree with you as well. Yeah, it's nice to have a few more Subarus. We've seemed to have lost Subarus over the last few years, really. I always loved seeing the World Rally cars out. We need to see more World Rally cars, don't we? They've all been dusted down and waxed and polished and then stored in garages and barns around the world now, in museums. They need to be out on the stages. A big favourite of mine is the S12B. I always love seeing that. Any WRC Impreza really, but the SLB was probably my favourite. The sound was just awesome. But I've got nothing against these Group A cars as well that come through. I do like an old Group A Subaru. I don't be too far off historics back at this rate. The way things are going, that means I'm getting old. But I do enjoy seeing the Subarus out. Charlie Campbell's is a nice example of a Subaru that's we're wanted to see through shortly. We've got Colin Minton though coming towards us by the sounds of it. I can hear an R5 in the distance. Here they come. Dayglow orange air intake on top of the car. Lights ablaze. Found some patience this morning as well, Colin. It was much quicker through than his first run this morning, so going well this afternoon, making good improvements. So it's looking like there's just the last two cars now. We'll wait for Charlie Campbell and Paul Hulston to come through before we wrap things up. And we say goodbye from Wales. I look forward to joining you on the next round of the Pirelli Welsh Rally Championship, which I'm going to go with an absolute guess at the Nicky Grist stages. Pretty sure that's right. Nicky Grist stages. I haven't got the calendar with me at the minute. But, waiting for live video signal. The broadcast is waiting for signal. Maybe that's it. No more cars. Unless there's one before. There's the Defender. No point in restarting or doing anything with this. So I'm not sure whether you can hear me. I know the signal's dropped out a little bit on the stream. Last competitor on the road. Car 419. Paul Hulston and Gareth Bent in the Bowler Defender. Wisping its way up the stage. You can hear the sirens of the course cars behind. So if you can hear me, I just want to say a massive thank you for joining us for the day. It's been a pleasure talking to you. It's a great rally, fantastic atmosphere here. Thank you to all the marshals, officials and everybody else who's involved in organising the event. Thank you to the organisers at the Welsh Championship as well, Dave Everson and his team, for doing a cracking job. And for now, we will say goodbye, and special stage will see you in Scotland next weekend. And if you are watching the Welsh Championship, then we will see you on the Nicky Grist stages in a month or so's time. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching, and we will see you again very soon. Goodbye.